Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly, and today we are honoring the Tarpon Chamber of Commerce. And we're excited to have our friend Jean back. See, I say this every show. It seems like we were just here, right?
I know.
Where
It goes so
is
fast.
the time all going?
I know. It's going too fast.
And you've got a lot going on, and we have
do.
our first guest, who
Yes.
happens to be Kim Adams from none other than Remax.
Hello.
Back in the saddle again. You're everywhere.
I am. You should see my calendar. You would say, yes, she is everywhere. I don't know how I.
She's everywhere with that, but she's also on my board of directors. She's the secretary for our
heard.
board. So it's the woman is everywhere.
Isn't that
exactly.
great? Isn't
That's
that
true.
awesome?
That should be my new slogan. She's everywhere.
She's everywhere.
She knows everything.
Well, we love having you on
Well,
the show.
thank you.
and-
It's good to be here.
Yeah. How long have you been with the Tarpon Chamber? Because that's not the only chamber you're involved with,
It's
right?
my fourth year. I
Fourth
think.
year?
Something like
4
that.
years. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you're on the board. Did you
Yes.
just join? How long have you been on the board?
I have been on the board. I'm going into my third year. Yeah.
Wow,
So
I
starting
yeah,
my
that's
third
right.
year.
do all
Yeah.
that, and
It
plus
goes
you have
so
a full-time
fast.
job doing real estate.
Yes, I do.
And that's fabulous. Market is what it is. Wild, wonderful,
Still-
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Still hot. Yeah, the market is hot. There's still people moving to Florida by the truckloads.
Where are we going to
hundreds.
put them?
I know.
Where
I
are we
wonder
going
that
to put them?
We're running out of space, aren't we?
Construction, I know.
New
What's
construction.
really neat is, since I'm still looking for a house,
Yeah.
every time Kim goes to preview what she thinks I might be interested in, even though I'm not quite ready, she'll say, come with me and preview.
Yeah.
So that's how quickly things go, though, because
Yeah.
then I'll watch it, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
It's
you
still
have
a
to.
seller's market,
Oh,
for sure.
absolutely.
Inventory is still low for our area.
Yeah, I know.
So-
I know. Well, it gives you a chance to give her a chance to see what you're looking for. But if you previewed anything, you
yeah.
probably know by now.
Oh, yeah, I
Yes,
get calls, when somebody says they're not quite ready to buy yet, but they still want to look, and they feel bad. I'm like, well, don't feel bad. This is what I do, and
Right.
I like looking at the properties. I like knowing what's out there, so it doesn't feel... You're not wasting my time. This
No,
is my
no,
job, you know.
and not only that, if
Yeah.
you get a listing and you've already got these people that you already know, oh, this is
Yeah.
going to be perfect for the Joneses or whatever,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's happened a few times.
Oh, I
think I've
know.
had 3 this year that before they even hit the MLS, when
Yes.
someone called me to sell, I knew of a buyer.
Isn't that the perfect
It's like,
scenario?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
And so you just have these people, and it's
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Huh?
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's some amazing financing options out there. Every time
Right.
you do a presentation at our breakfast, or just tell us what's going on, I'm just in awe of how easy it is to get into a house.
Yeah. Several down payment assistance programs out there where you can get into a house, especially if you can find one that will do some seller concessions, which is difficult sometimes, but you could get into a house with very, very little money down. My sister-in-law got into her first home this year with only $1,400 out of pocket.
Isn't that great?
She got down payment assistance money and a little bit of help with the closing costs. And yeah, so I mean, that's better than
What
rent.
price range was that in?
That hers was in she was around 130,000.
Okay,
or
You get
Okay.
something
in
nice
Fort
for
Ritchie.
that.
Yeah.
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 It's a
Oh,
cute
that's
little
great.
3-bedroom house that she got. And, yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, it's
Neat.
really cute. And then there's besides that, you can go VA. If you're VA, the 100% with that one. There's some creative, conventional ones out there even too that are allowing some financing for like a second mortgage kind of thing for the down payment. There's just limitless options right now. There's investor ones for the people who are not showing a lot of money on their tax returns. So there's investor loans where they just look at your bank statements instead of your tax returns, which is great for somebody self-employed. There's ones out there that's just based on the rent that a property would give. So
Oh.
yeah, so as long as it rents for a certain amount and the buyer has a good credit score, that's the main criteria right there. And then there's the Home Partners program that I work with that gives you the lease with the option to purchase.
This is the one that's particularly interesting. Talk a little bit about that,
Yes,
because
it's-
this one is like every time I'm out walking, I'm thinking, ooh, can I talk them into renting that?
It's just so unique because so many people, for different reasons, there's so many different reasons why you can't get a mortgage right now. So
Sure.
say they're going through a divorce, or say they just want to come to the area and rent for a while and they don't know for sure if they want to buy. This program is a nationwide program, and they're spending billions in the Tampa Bay area because of the growth in Tampa. It's a good investment area.
Oh, yes.
So they're buying properties, but they're letting the tenant. So if you were renting a house, you apply on their site, you're approved. We know the rent amount that you're approved for. Only we go shopping on the houses that are for sale, and they get to pick out the house that they want to rent. And then this company purchases it, pays cash for it, and gives the tenant the option to purchase it in up to 5 years. They could walk away at the end of 12 months if they want to, or they could
That's the
rent it
perfect-
for another
that's-
year if they
isn't
want
that
to.
amazing?
Or they could buy it at any time. If 6 months later they decide, I'm ready to buy, they can go ahead and buy. So I try to make sure everybody's aware of that one because it just sounds too good to be true.
It is.
How do you handle that selling price on that? I'm just curious.
The selling price, it's just like any other listing. They come in pretty close to market, whatever
Okay.
market value is. They don't lowball offers. I mean, they come
Okay.
in with a good, strong offer. So it's a great listing tool, too.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
you're trying to sell and you have a property that's in their area, you could put it as a lease option as one
That
of the
is so
options
good.
there. Yeah, so it helps sell it, and you're getting a cash buyer then that's going to close in 30 days.
Yes.
At a good
and
market
no
price.
hassle.
Yeah.
No hassle. Oh my
No.
gosh, the last 3 I've done with them, they didn't even ask for anything on their inspection reports.
Isn't that
So,
great?
Wow,
yeah,
That's
it's
so
just
nice when
so
it goes
nice.
smooth as butter.
Oh, that's
yeah.
terrific.
It's a
Good for
pretty
you.
cool program. So if somebody's still working on their credit score a little bit, because
Okay.
it's 580 and above, they only ask for 2 months pay stubs. So, you
Wow.
know, like somebody new to the job, but they know they're going to be there. They still want to get into a nice house. Executives are using this. That when you're on that level, sometimes you're writing off a lot of stuff. So your bottom line on your tax return doesn't show as much as you're actually getting. So it's tough. So when you're a business owner or an executive, you can still go ahead and get in that executive style home and until you're
Okay.
ready to get the mortgage.
Got it.
Yeah.
Lot of-
Or
lot
in
of
case
ways.
you're not quite sure about the neighborhood and you think, this is where I think I want to live,
Yep.
or like me, I was looking
Yep.
at condos with you.
Right.
And I was thinking, oh, of course I want to get into a condo. But after we looked at several of them, I thought, no, I really think I'm more of a house person. But it was one of those things where it would have been, if we'd run into the perfect one for me to do this program with.
Yeah, because
I-
try before you buy.
It was,
I love
and then
that.
I would have thought, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
did rent in a condo, but not part of the program, and realized I'm not a condo person.
See,
So-
and you don't know. You get that feel when you're out and about, and
Yes.
you just kind of get that feel when you go into
Yes.
the different homes and condos and villas
Yes.
and whatever. So you've been involved with the Tarpon Chamber, and how has it helped you in your business per se? You've been with them for 4 years, okay, guys?
Yes, 4 years. And I love the chamber. And I love networking. I love building relationships. I love knowing what's going on in the community. So there's several benefits to being in the chamber. I'm building lasting relationships. I have
Yes.
friendships,
Yes.
not just clients. I look forward to the chamber meetings. I look forward. We have our mixer tonight. I'm looking forward to that chamber happy hour tonight. And
Yeah.
it feels like a family. You just all get to know each
Yeah,
other, and
it
it
is.
kind of starts to feel like a family.
It makes a difference.
yeah,
And I'm
it
glad to
does.
hear you say that. Because since I've been doing these shows, which is going on 6 years, the chamber shows,
Yeah.
I too have more of a feel for the community.
Yes.
And even though we do different chambers, right?
Right.
They all say the same thing, and it's building relationships. And really, that is what it is.
Well, people like to do business with people that are not just on the phone or on the
know.
computer. I mean, and we have this young professionals organization that we have now combined with all of the different chambers, and it's one of those things where we're teaching the millennials
Yes.
that you want to do business with somebody that you have talked to, that you've seen, that
Yes.
you've eyeballed.
Yes.
And these are the kids that are in the phones. And we've got enough of these youngsters in each of in each of our cities that the Upper Tampa Bay, Safety Harbor, us in Tarpon Springs, Palm Harbor, and Dunedin, that we've combined forces to do Bay Area Young Professionals.
I
and
love that.
This networking is something that they're not used to. And so it's
right.
how do you keep the chamber relevant? Well, I'm a mentor on that program, and so we host them twice a month. They were in Tarpon Springs at, they had an evening one for Silver King. And then 2 weeks later, they did a lunch one where we had a speaker, and Safety Harbor helped me pull in a speaker that was one of their members from Dale Carnegie, because they wanted to learn about their 1-minute presentation. So they give us some feedback, but then we're able to teach them how important it is to sit across the table from somebody. And lo and behold, one of the young ladies there was fresh out of college, and she stood up and she said, "I'm working at Starbucks, but I have a degree in this. I just graduated in August." This was in September. And one of them gave her a call a week later and said, "A friend of mine had ... and she ended up with a job."
Isn't that
Not
fabulous?
her ideal job.
Just
but
from
it was
one visit.
one visit. And
See?
so we use that as an example, because she let me know, and I use that as an example. This is your chambers at work. And they're going, "Oh, okay." See, our generation knows all of this because we're used to that. And this young,
Here's the young generation.
and
It's
they are.
so true. And when Jean said, she goes, the younger they're in their phone. They are in
their
phone. And I mean, I can learn a lot from that generation as well. They can learn a lot from us because, you know, all of our different generations and all really can impart a lot of good wisdom and knowledge when it comes to business and connecting with people, and the amount of touches that we need to do, you know, live and
Yes.
unrehearsed, and just be able to read somebody's body language and get to know people, and then you do want to go back to them.
Yeah, and and you go, "Oh, that person connect somehow." There is this aura that you don't get in this phone.
That's right.
Isn't that the truth?
I can handle the blue hair and I can handle all of the other stuff, but it's this get your face out of the phone that it's really hard when you're trying to do business with somebody.
It is. It truly is. And I don't even get me started about some of the different little challenges we have with the digital age, but we do, and it takes up a lot of time. So, you know, to be able to make a physical conversation, it's awesome. It's always great to have you, Kim, and it's time for us to take a break. So, thank you, and come back again. Continued success in you and your family.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are having an exciting day here featuring the Tarpon Chamber of Commerce. Our next guest happens to be Tony Tartaglia.
Yes.
I got it all
You got
right.
it right.
You did.
Owner and commercial pilot of Dragon Aviation.
Don't you love
just
it?
the name of that. piques my interest. Tell us about
Okay.
your business.
It's a new business, just started after I got my commercial license. And what we do is a cost-sharing charter flights to wherever anybody wants to go at $180 an hour for the airplane. Basically, if you put 3 people in there, it only costs $60 an hour per person. to
Do you
fly.
realize that you and I could go for $90 a piece, and we could take off anywhere?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean there's no limit on where you go?
No, I can go.
What?
I can
And he would be
fly-
our designated driver.
I told you we cannot hang out together.
We have, basically my main area of operations is the southeast region. There's over 700 public airports.
Can you believe
publicly
that?
owned airports in 7 southeast states. And then, of course, if somebody really wanted to go long distance, we could go to Denver, we could go to Dallas, we can go anywhere.
Yeah, you could do charter stuff. But I
Yes.
love the fact that when you look at $180 an hour to rent a plane and a pilot,
Sure.
that's incredible. And so, how many? You can seat how many in the 3?
3 in me.
3 in you. Oh, you
Yeah.
have to go, don't you?
I do have to go, yes. The FAA frowns on non-licensed people flying airplanes.
Okay.
So what made you, how long have you had this business?
It just started. We just started it. Effectively, my my LLC was the first of the year because I knew I was going to do this. And I got my commercial pilot's license not too long ago, and I'm instrument rated also, so we just decided to go into flying for a third vocation.
So what'd you do before?
I was in the military for
Aha.
a long time.
Were you a pilot?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, I was a vessel master of all things.
Wow.
Yes.
So detail is his thing. Do you remember Stella from Tampa Bay Aviation, the helicopter
Yes.
tour people that were here?
Yes.
Well, Stella had recommended that he come and talk to me about the chamber. And after, 2 hours?
2 hours.
We had a chit-chat, and I called Stella. I said, Tony is fabulous. He's going to do so well with this idea. And she went on and on and on about how detail-oriented he was, how he double-checks everything. He was one of the best students that they had worked with, and on. And I mean, she couldn't say enough good things about his safety habits and how he operates
I'm
and what he
flattered.
and she was.
I would like to hear all of that if I was going to go ahead and hire him.
Precisely, because, I mean, there's hundreds of pilots or 1000s of pilots, but when you hear from somebody who works for Tampa Bay Aviation saying, this person does the
It's true.
following, and we are really impressed because everything is done exactly how it's supposed to be, nothing is ever overlooked, that makes me feel really
Well,
good.
yeah, exactly.
So you turn yourself over to you
Right.
and your professionalism, and it's like, wow. But think about this: you go to the Masters, or to one of these golf tournaments, but particularly the Masters, and you could just pop up there.
Augusta, Georgia is only 2.5 hours away.
So if we go
Maybe.
up there for 2.5 hours, stay for the Masters, do we pay for going up?
Right.
Then do you turn around and come back and pick us up in a few days, or
It
how does that
depends
work?
on what your schedule is like and what I have going on. A lot of weekend stuff that I do, like if I go to take a couple to Key West for the weekend, what they'll do for me is buy my hotel room.
Okay.
So I stay there. I'm their pilot for the weekend, and if they want to leave early, they call me on the phone and say, let's
No
go.
reservation.
No
Oh, you have
reservations.
reservation-
No
if you-
TSA checks, no 2 hours ahead of time, no parking, none
Ah.
of all the headaches that you get going to Tampa International because
I can't even tell you when I flew last because of all of that.
Well,
Well.
I've been
you
grounded.
make a really good point, because I just went to
Yes.
visit my son last weekend in Wisconsin, and it took me 45 minutes to get to the parking. Then and I was timing this so that I would pay attention to it. I parked off campus,
Right.
and then I was there 2 hours ahead of time because I
Yes.
thought I want to make sure I have enough time. Well, by the time I dropped my car and then was sitting at the gate was a good 55 minutes.
Sure.
and that was through TSA. And I was early, so I wasn't part of the main onslaught.
Right.
If I had been probably even 15 minutes later, the lines would have backed up, and it would have taken me an hour and a half to do that. You don't have any of that with you.
No, we're already in the air. We're halfway to our destination, and the poor people at Tampa are still on the ground waiting for the
I'm still on the
plane
ground
to get pushed
waiting.
out.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you, that really gives a lot of food for thought here. I mean,
Well,
I think
and
this is great.
How long does it take to fly up to the Panhandle? Like if I wanted to go to Apalachicola.
Tallahassee, I
Okay.
just did a flight plan for Tallahassee. It's about just under 2 hours.
Okay.
Just under 2. It's about an hour 40.
Okay.
On a day, 0 wind day, where you don't have to buck a headwind.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
rather
about an
than
hour
like a 5-hour drive up there, you
Oh,
could
yeah.
do 2 hours up, do what you needed to do,
And 2
turn
hours
around and
back.
come back, and you're paying $180 times 4.
that's crazy.
That is,
That's crazy.
and you're not getting exhausted and beat up and all that.
Well, that's it. It's all about the stress, is keeping your stress down. I mean, to me, this sounds much more relaxing and more fun. Now, do you keep busy 7 days a week, or do you take a break, or
No,
what?
I don't keep busy 7 days a week. It's just a brand new business, so I'm still generating leads. I'm still trying to get people to, go fly with me. To coin an old phrase.
Uh-huh.
But people that do want to go on these trips are not. The money is not the issue for them. It's like if you want to go to Key West, right? How many people want to make that drive?
Oh, I know. It's
Go to Key West. Do you know I can have you in Key West in 2 hours and 5 minutes?
ooh.
As opposed to driving
As
how long?
opposed to 8 hours.
8 hours.
Each
It's
way.
just so
Oh.
not for me.
And yes,
That
and then
blows
you
your
get
whole
to
weekend.
go.
I
right
know,
there.
And you
Right?
get to
You're
go
done.
relax
Yeah.
and spend some time, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm tired, let's go back. Or, no, let's stay a couple hours longer because we're having fun doing this.
Right.
That is terrific. That is, I was telling Tony when we were first talking, many, many years ago, I dated a TWA pilot for a while, and I was in Washington, and on Friday, we would fly over to the Ocean City area, and it would take us 35 minutes.
Right.
And I'm looking down at all of the traffic going on the bridge, and I knew that it was a 2-hour drive, and it was bumper to bumper through Annapolis and on the way over, and I went, holy cow, this is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, it worked out for a while, and it was, but that is one of the things that to me was the most amazing, was the fact that, and then I could come back and I didn't have to do this long drive after having been at the beach and stuff for the weekend,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was like, drop me off and I get in the car and drive 15 minutes home.
Sure. Yeah, and being at Clearwater Air Park, where my plane is parked, the earliest we can take off is 7 a.m., and we have to be back by 11 p.m. because that's when the
It's a
airport
lot of
closes.
leeway.
There's a lot of time to get back.
Yeah.
And if you want to take off, especially, for the rest of this week, it'd be a dawn takeoff at 7 a.m. because it's still dark out. It's
Yes.
the dawn rising on the way down.
Oh, and then the sun coming up.
That sounds so fun.
You and I were talking about something else I want you to talk a little bit about, your
Okay.
North Carolina back and forth trips. He came up with a really neat idea for the chamber and for visitors as well for the area. Go ahead and talk a little bit about that. I was excited.
My idea was basically to connect two Chamber of Commerces together, Tarpon Springs and a Chamber of Commerce in North Carolina, and have them. I was taking a box of brochures from Tarpon up to North Carolina. I was going to get a box of brochures from them and bring them back here, and have people say down here, "Oh, I want to go up there," and have people up there say, "I want," and then we just transfer them back and forth.
Good
over the
idea.
course of a
Isn't that
weekend.
neat?
Yes.
And it can work.
It can work.
Yes, I just have to get the right people in place.
Yeah.
And so we've
You
got
will.
We've got
You
the Tarpon Chamber in place, and then we will get coordinating with a chamber or two up there, depending
Sure.
on
Right.
up
Sure.
in the mountains area. So it's one of those things where it's, oh my goodness.
I think that's a great idea because, a lot of people would like to get out of here and have a reprieve from this hot weather,
The heat,
and
correct.
vice versa. They want to get out of the cool weather, come down. I think you got
would
a winner.
How would you like to do this one? We're here at Christmas time, but for a couple of days after Christmas, let's take a couple of people and go up to Boone, North Carolina to ski.
There you go.
And then you go up there, you ski for a couple of days, and then you turn around and you come back down here to this nice weather. And you didn't have to drive, you didn't have to do anything. You just pick up the phone and you make all the arrangements. The skis are up there. They have all different kinds of chalets, and you've got your transportation.
You got it all.
Got it all. All you
And
need-
time.
And time to
You've
do
got
what
time.
you want to do.
Yes.
Correct. And
Yes.
the only other thing that you have to do on a situation like that is to call ahead and book your hotel, because ski resort hotels
yes.
go quick.
Yes.
So you have to do those. And then you have to get a rental car to go back and forth from the airport to the lodge.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
that's pretty easy
And I
to
can
do.
arrange all of that for you. Not that I'm a travel agent, mind you. I'm not.
But you know the...
I
like-
know enough.
You know
to-
that you have the
yeah.
connections.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Gosh, we could sit and chat with you all day long. We only have about a minute remaining.
Well, now you understand why when he
Yes.
first walked in,
Yes.
and I said, sure, I've got about 30 minutes, we can talk. And 2 hours later,
Yeah.
or almost
Yeah.
2 hours later,
Yeah.
we had been swapping stories and do you know, and oh my gosh, this brings back such great memories. I'm very excited about it.
You should be. And you know, to Jean's credit, you really know how to really sit and get information from your potential members. And of course, you can't say no to Jean, right?
No.
I mean, they're an awesome chamber. So I just wanted to put that little feather in your cap.
They are an awesome
But we're
chamber.
gonna. You need to leave me some business cards,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
this is a really good idea. And
He's got my favorite shirt on, too. I love it when a man can wear pink and carry it off.
that's right. It's good color. It's good TV color too, as
Oh,
well.
thank you. I wouldn't know.
Oh,
It's my
well, I
first
tell
time.
you, this
What
is
a
really
great Christmas present to give to somebody as
I,
well.
I
Yes.
know.
You don't have to decide where you want to go. So if you're interested, call the chamber at 727-937-6109.
There you
and
go.
We will connect you.
And we got to go. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you, Barbara.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
everyone. We're back.
We are.
My Chamber TV. Oh, you just missed the classic moment here a minute ago. Welcome in.
Deer in the headlights.
The deer in the headlights. That was very
Yes,
good,
but
Gene.
welcome back. This is Barbara Marville.
We just have too much fun here, but we do want to say thank you for joining us for Tarpon Chamber of Commerce on My Chamber TV. We have a brand new business that's getting ready to open up right around the holidays. Excuse me. Lisa and Barry Butler, and you are opening your own distillery, and it's not even up yet. You're waiting for this and that. Tell us all about it. How did you get into all this?
Well, let me add something before they start. Everybody has been driving by on Alternate 19 in downtown Tarpon, watching the building and the parking lot next to it, and then the sign went up, and little by little by little,
Tease.
the anticipation, and it is a tease. So talk about what was going on there, because it's fabulous.
Sure. Well, we're starting a distillery, which a lot of people are asking us, okay, what kind of beer are you making? And so, we have to educate everybody that a distillery doesn't make beer, it makes liquor. And so we're actually going to be making a number of different spirits. We're starting out with a traditional Appalachian moonshine recipe.
No kidding.
But with some extra rye grain in it. And we're also going to make gin. And most interestingly for Tarpon Springs, we're going to be making traditional Greek ouzo.
Really?
And we'll
Oh,
be-
my goodness, that's perfect.
As far as we know, we'll be the only distillery in America making traditional Greek ouzo.
That's terrific. And what a perfect place to be doing
Oh,
that.
my
No, it
goodness.
is. I mean, we actually, when we decided to do this in the spring of 18, when we started working on the process, I knew we needed to come up with an ouzo recipe if we were going to be in Tarpon Springs. So I scoured the internet and found an old blog with an old hand-scrawled recipe from a Greek guy from back in the day.
Neat.
And so we adapted that, made some test batches, and did some local taste testing with the local Greek population. And most people seem to like it better than the traditional ouzo. We add a little bit of orange to it so that it's more Floridian.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting.
Ouzo has sort of a licorice taste.
It does. It's got anise and fennel.
Anise, that's
And
what I was thinking.
then we add some other spices to it and put a little bit of orange peel in the recipe so that it has a little Florida flair.
Now, do
That-
you serve
that
it with a
sounds
little
yummy.
piece of orange peel?
We haven't, but we can.
I was just, but I was just thinking, if it's Florida.
Sure.
But that is so you're going to have a tasting room.
Right. The other difference between us and breweries is that we're not allowed to sell drinks. So we're not a bar.
Okay.
What people do when they go to the distilleries is they get a tour of the distillery. So when people come in, it's all free, and nobody pays for anything. They come in, we give them a tour of the facility, show them all the equipment, how liquor's made, so they get a learning process.
Cool.
And then we come back into the tasting room. Everybody gets to test a small amount of each of the three products that we make, and then we'll give each person a free craft cocktail. And then they can buy the liquors right there. We're allowed, based on the law in Florida, to sell up to 6 bottles of each brand to a person within a year. And other than that,
within a year.
Right.
Okay.
Other than that, we have a distributor who's going to be distributing our liquor to the local bars, restaurants, and liquor stores. The Greek Boys distributors from Tarpon Springs are going to be distributing our liquor. So they'll be able to buy it in the local liquor stores and be able to get drinks at the local bars. So,
I am just running through my head what a great ribbon cutting we can do.
it's going to be fun.
Oh, I
that's
can
gonna
imagine.
be- because everybody's been anticipating and anticipating, but the fact that it's going to be you have a tour and that you are able to just do a little samples and
Sure.
all of
Oh,
that
yeah.
good stuff. That'll
And like I
be-
say, that's all free. Now, what we're also planning
We'll take
to do...
any and all ideas that you have.
Any and all
Okay.
ideas, we
And,
appreciate it.
you will
Yeah.
get those if you people will give you their opinion, and especially since this is the first distillery that we have here in Tarpon Springs.
It is. And, we've got a really big lot. If you haven't been over there, come and
Yes.
visit us. We've taken and put shells everywhere so it looks like a giant beach.
It does look
And-
great. I drive
And
by it
there's
twice a
really
day.
a big area out back. And one of the things we are allowed to do is we can have a caterer come in and set up a bar and sell drinks. And so we're going to turn that into sort of a big festival type thing and have little, put a stage in and have different bands. One of the things we're planning to do, I'm a banjo picker. I'm from Alabama, so that makes sense. But
Okay.
anyway.
Oh, that's
It does.
fun.
So I'm kind of a banjo player. And,
Okay.
And there's not really a lot of great places for bluegrass musicians in Pinellas County to come and just sort of pick.
Oh,
So
have I got somebody to introduce
Well,
you
I need
to? One of my board members, Steve Boyson, who is with Brookdale, has not been here. He's a district manager, but he's on my board, is also a banjo picker.
Really?
And
Fantastic.
he plays bass viol or viola, I can't remember which, and he's part of a group.
Okay.
But I need to introduce you to.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Because that will get you
Oh,
out
yeah.
into
Out
a
into
whole
the
different
world.
part of the
So
community
about
as
once a
well.
month, we want to have bluegrass pickers be able to come in and group up and play and have moonshine cocktails and sold by some of the caterers and things like that. So we're going to try to turn it into a combination of an event center as well as the distillery and the whole.
And I have a
the whole thing.
caterer for you, smaller. They joined about a month ago. Smaller is Better Catering. They are on holiday.
Okay.
And so they're going to be a guest probably coming up in January.
Cool.
And so you came very close to meeting them today. They ended up not being able to be here because they had an event that they had to go to. But they would be the right people to be at your place if you're looking for a caterer as well.
And we're also going to do
That's
some
great.
decorations. Lisa and our new general manager, Jesse Rogers,
Okay.
have been working together. Why don't you tell them about the plans for the outside of the building?
Yeah. So the building that we're in is a former wholesale sponge warehouse. And architecturally, the building is pretty plain Jane.
Okay.
So we have just, we've met with a local muralist, Jenny
Okay.
Pearl, who's done several murals in Tarpon Springs area
okay.
already. Most recently, she did the big, beautiful red octopus on the side of Johnny's Tap House.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you going
So
to be at Johnny's tonight? I'm going to
We
talk
are.
about that a little later.
we are
Perfect.
We are planning on being there.
Believe me, we'll be at Johnny's.
So we're going to have Jenny actually do murals on 3 sides of our buildings.
Oh, neat.
And that's just going to make it
Oh, yeah.
pop.
Lots of
Gonna pop for sure.
personality.
Yeah,
And that's how
yeah.
people remember your locations, too, sometimes, not to mention, what's inside your facility there. But I love the entertainment that you're tying in with that. You're just going to have so much fun.
It's going to be fun.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
building historically had murals on the outside
Oh,
of
no
it.
kidding.
It's the old Katzaris Sponge Warehouse. Stephen Katzaris was the man who owned the building and ran the business for years.
Okay.
And it's actually a lot of history tied to that. We're trying to preserve that. That's why they called him Papu. And so
Okay.
that's why we've named the ouzo Papu's Ouzo.
Oh, great.
And we tell his story on the back of the bottle. So we're trying to honor that legacy. But he used to have murals on the outside of the building, so we're going to try to convert it back.
They were sponges, and
sponge diver
it advertised what they sold: sponges and chamois and loofahs and
Cool.
yeah.
How
So we're
is
trying to
that?
keep that process going.
People
And
love that.
The
Speaking
family's
of
been
tradition.
Yeah, the family's
Talk
been
a little
great
bit
as
about
well.
this.
That's interesting. We found that at an antique store down in St. Pete, and since we were doing
And
the
brought it home.
and brought it
Oh,
home.
yeah.
And since we're doing the ouzo here, we've got it pointed that way. But see, the ouzo has a sponge diver and the label, and then our patented octopus coming up around the side.
Oh.
And so basically, then the sponge diver is going to be on the back end, on the end of the
there you
building.
go. There you
we
go. It's on the screen.
There it is on the screen. Okay. So when we saw that sponge helmet, we're going to make a display with our ouzo and everything in the store with that. And since it's copper, it matches the still.
Nice.
And what is the name of your still? When I saw these pictures that you sent in, and I think, John, I sent in a picture of you standing, I think, with the still. Tell us the name of the still.
The name of the still is Amazing Grace.
I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Gracie
or
for short.
Gracie for short. And we actually sent a call out to our friends on Facebook to see what they thought we should name the still. And after getting a lot of really good suggestions, we came up with our own name.
There it is.
That's the little still.
So
that's
cool.
the
Okay, that's the little still. That's not the big still.
That's Artie Tootie.
That's Artie Tootie.
Now, I named Artie Tootie.
I love it.
The big still.
Because he looks like little R2D2, and so we decided RD2D stood for Research and Development to Distill.
Right.
Oh,
Ah,
yes.
very
Clever.
good.
I found all this on email, and I went, this is just way too clever.
But the big
But getting back to Amazing
Yeah.
Grace, the reason that Grace fit that
There
so
it is.
well was
There it is.
There
That's
it
Amazing
is.
That's
Oh, yes.
Amazing Grace. The reason that fits so well is that the wood that's cladding the outside of the still and the worm barrel is from an old church.
Oh.
Back and
It's kind of like the barnwood builder thing, but it's from an
Yeah.
old church from the 1800s.
So
Torn down.
Amazing Grace,
Yes,
it just
I
it
figured
just
that-
fits
That
so
is
well.
such a great story. I love these stories. You know,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
really having
Very
fun
creative.
with this. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what you've got here on the table. There,
We've got a couple of things. So first of all, we'll talk about ingenuity first. One of the interesting things about owning a distillery is that most people, they don't make a lot of things for distilleries. You end up making a lot of things yourself. So like
Okay.
the still was handmade by a company in Alabama that made the still from scratch. It took almost
Okay.
a year to make the
so
still.
you went home to get a
So you can't
still.
just go, you don't just go buy stills anywhere. But this thing is kind of, Lisa thought I should bring it. This
like
is a
it.
model of a very giant version of this that we built with some of our employees to go inside our condenser. We were looking for a water cooling system.
Oh.
And so we designed this and built it, and we turned a welding chiller into a giant water cooling system by using a giant copper. The one we made is actually about 6 feet tall and uses 3/4 inch copper tubing. It's giant. We don't have a picture of that, but anyway, it's kind of the fun part about the business is that
Get to
you
invent
get to
things.
go invent things and
He actually
and
came
make
up
things.
with this idea in his
In a
sleep.
dream,
He
yeah.
dreamed it, and he got up the next morning.
A dream
and,
come true.
Yeah,
It was.
and told me about it, and I said, "Really?" Which is usually the response I do to everything that he comes up
Yeah.
with. You know? And,
You can't do
and then
that.
he started bumping the idea up against people that were experts in chilling, and they were like, "I don't know why that wouldn't work," and I was like,
So anyway, we ended up saving ourselves about $30,000 by building our little thing and hooking it
yeah.
to a welding chiller.
So
And it all
Out of a
started with a
dream.
dream.
And it did.
yeah, exactly.
And then this is basically the mash bill for our base liquor for the moonshine. So our liquor has a lot of rye in it. A lot of moonshine is just corn, just plain corn. You see it
Okay.
called corn liquor or whatever. We put rye and barley. And the other thing we're doing with this is that we're using all malted grains. So when they malt grains, they take the grains and they spread them out and they wet them down and the seeds germinate.
So they
And when
basically
do that,
sprout them.
right, and the reason you
yeah.
do that is because the seeds have carbohydrates in them, but those carbohydrates can't be consumed by the yeast unless they're converted. But when a seed gets sprayed and it sprouts, then it automatically converts its carbohydrates into sugars that can be used for the plant to grow.
Oh, and then it
And then those sugars can be distilled. And so by using malted grains like this, we're able to improve the alcohol level and the flavor of the whiskey. And
That's neat.
by using a combination of corn, rye, and barley, then we can give it a nice smooth finish so that when you drink it, even though it's 100 proof, it doesn't feel like it's burning you. So
I am
that's
going to
the
be
deal.
there.
That sounds
This
dangerous.
is so
That
exciting.
sounds so
be there.
dangerous.
I am looking so forward this to open. I live 10 minutes from you in Tarpon, so yeah, we've got to
Fantastic.
check
Come and
this
visit.
out. Good
And like
luck.
I say, a free cocktail every time you visit. One free cocktail.
Are
That's
you
all we
open
can
for
do.
lunch?
That's all we can do is one.
Some days are like that.
Some days are like that.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, and we wish you a world of luck, and it sounds like you've really put your heart and soul into this, so we'll be spreading the word. Thanks for coming on My Chamber TV.
Thank you.
All
you.
right. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right
Okay.
back.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into
we're behaving.
My Chamber TV. Gosh, we just had a distillery on, and it's not open yet, darn it.
I know, but isn't that going to be fun?
It's going to be so much fun.
I will call you up and remind you of their ribbon cutting, which will be sometime probably in December is what we're shooting for with that. That is my newest chamber member. They just joined last week, and I said, I've got to have them on.
Oh, yes.
Because it was just...
And you're so good at bringing on the new members and seasoned members, and there's always a story, and I just love it. But welcome back into our last segment for the day here with Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is Jean Hungiville. Can I now turn it over to you? Because I know you got a lot to say.
I do.
Okay.
I do. It's just you got to give me a little bit of warning.
You've been warned.
I have
Take
been
her
warned.
away.
Here we go. And I'm looking at my list of stuff there, and oh, good grief! Oh, wow! And since the holidays are coming up, it's probably going to be one of those things where we aren't going to see each other as much because, and in December this falls right on Christmas, and then next month it falls just before Thanksgiving. So we're going to have to kind of. So I've got more things to even talk about.
Okay.
But can you believe the holidays are almost on us?
I know. We were just talking about them last year, but go ahead, Jean. Let's see.
Tonight we mentioned Johnny's. This is the fourth Wednesday, so therefore we are at Johnny's Tap House for our chamber happy hour, and we haven't been there in about a year, and we have a good number of people showing up for that one. That one's going to be so much fun tonight. And it'll be from 5 until 6:30, so if you are a chamber member, put that on your calendar, or if you are a prospective chamber member, let's do it. Come on down and see what we're all about. these two from the Distillery are going to be there. I know that Tony from Tampa Bay Aviation is, and Kim is already there because she's one of my board members and she's helping do setup. So come join us. That's tonight. Then in November. Now, next week, we've got one of those extra weeks, and okay, it'll be time to catch up.
Yes.
But coming in November, before Thanksgiving holidays, on the 6th, which is the first Wednesday, we have our annual breakfast meeting, and this is where we have our swearing in of new board members. Our new officers will be taking their new office places to start in December. We will be having Congressman Gus Bilirakis there. He usually ends up with coming to our August lunch, but since he was out of the country during August, then we are going to be having him do his presentation of what's our update on the legislature is going to be as part of our annual breakfast meeting this year. So it's going to be hosted by the Tuscan Sun, and it's just going to be a continental breakfast with coffee. So all of our membership is invited to that. We usually have a very, very good turnout for that. So again, if you are a chamber member, please give us a call so we have enough of a head count to have for our continental breakfast, but please come and join us and meet our new board members. I think we'll have about 3 new board members.
That's nice.
Then the next night, on Thursday the 7th, we have another new member. We've had 50 new members so far this year.
That is fabulous.
Actually, the Distillery was our 51st member since January. And we have not done a membership drive. We're just doing what we do, and people want to be part of us.
And you are doing so well.
I'm so excited
and
about
you have
this.
been there for how long now?
2.5 years.
Has it been 2.5 years?
It has. I'm just amazed.
You've really made a difference.
I'm hoping
Big
so.
difference.
But I think there's a lot of people that were just waiting for some direction. They
Yeah.
didn't know what the chamber really needed to do. And we're getting our traction now, and I'm just really excited about it.
You should be.
Lemongrass Spa. They are a company that used to be in Colorado, and they've moved here. They are out here. Remember, we talked about Greek brothers, Greek boys. They have their big warehouse there. They are not a spa. They do sell spa products, and all of it was put together because the partner, the wife, had all different kinds of skin allergies on one of her children. So she developed quite a number of really lovely soaps and lotions and those kinds of things, expanded into a business that they looked at the Tampa Bay area and decided to settle in Tarpon Springs.
Yay.
So Lemongrass Spa, the ribbon cutting they've been in business a little longer, but they are new to the Tarpon area and they have expanded their warehouse. So we're looking at economic growth coming into the Tarpon area as well with all of this new businesses. So that's on the 7th. That'll be from 5 to 6:30 with the ribbon cutting at 5:30. Then on the week later, the following Wednesday on the 13th, lucky Wednesday the 13th, is our middle of the month mixer where we kind of relax in the end of the month or middle of the month, and we're going to have it at the Tarpon Art Gallery, which was a company called Imprints, and it's on Tarpon Avenue, and they decided that this wasn't working, so they sort of molted into more of an art gallery, and then they do their custom printing. They print on woods. They'll print on the top of something like this. They'll do on your phone cover. They do all kinds of that. But then they have an art gallery there, and right now it's featured a gentleman by the name of Garceau. He is Greek, but he has been in the Louvre. His paintings, people have come from Tampa to buy his paintings.
Nice.
He's going to be teaching an art class coming up, I believe, in December for something like $120, and he will help you put together something. No experience necessary. It includes all of the materials. The only thing he will not do is sign it. So you sign your own painting. But he's quite the charmer and quite talented. But we're going to do a ribbon cutting for their new name, the Tarpon Art Gallery. That will be on the Wednesday the 13th. That will be our mixer. So come and see all the new things that have gone on there. And that, again, 5 to 6:30, and the ribbon cutting is at 5:30 with the mayor and all of that. On the 20th, a week later, we have a very new, interesting member that comes out of Bel Air. CBD for Me. And their focus is on CBD education. And what what is CBD and what does it do for you? Can it do for you? What are the expectations? How is it different from what all of the jokes are all about? How is it different that if you buy it at a natural foods market versus somebody who is a distributor versus somebody who just has it in their coffee shop? There's all different levels and all different kinds of that. Their focus, and one of the reasons I wanted them to join the chamber when I first heard about them, and all it took was a quick phone call, I said, I need some education myself. I don't understand this. So they're going to be our speaker at lunch, which will be at Captain Jack's on the 20th. And they're coming up from Bel Air, and they're going to be talking about what CBD is. But it's CBD for me is the name of their company. So it's all letters, the number 4, and then .com after that. So
Perfect. We need more education on that.
that is absolutely, they were talking about the fact that I have arthritis in my thumbs, and just, it's the kind of thing where, do I take something, do I use a topical? It depends, and there's a lot of, it's not quite that simple.
No.
So I'm really looking forward to that. Then on Thanksgiving weekend, it's Small Business Saturday. And so the Chamber traditionally does our arts and crafts show and promotes downtown small business in Tarpon. The arts and crafts show is going to be on Court Street. We did that last year for the first time. It was a big success. It's a little wider street. It's a historic brick street. So all of the arts and crafts people are there. I always look for a couple of things. Every year, there's wind chimes that I'm looking for because I usually will give those as a gift. And the other thing that I love are the crocheted dishcloths. And I swap those out every year. And that lady does amazing different crocheted things, but her
nice.
dishcloths are just, I'll get a stack of those. So that's the kind, and then there's other different kinds. There's jewelry and there's other fun Florida art. So that will be the Saturday and Sunday, November 30th, December 1st. Then we will have signs reminding people that you can go over to the main street, which is Tarpon Ave, because all of the businesses will be open, and they are going to be doing a sidewalk sale.
Oh, nice.
So they can put up balloons. We'll be doing sidewalks. In Tarpon, we don't normally have sidewalk sales. So this is all part of this Small Business Saturday promotion that we started last year, and we filled the streets. People were walking around with arms of shopping bags.
I know. I get my hair done over there, and there was like swarms of people.
Oh, yes, it was great.
Yeah, I love going in there when all that's going on because you get a chance to really see. We're already running out of time, my dear.
Oh, we are.
Do you have anything in the last 30 seconds?
The last 30 seconds, go to our website, www.tarponsprings.chamberofcommerce.org, and look to see what is going on in December.
Yes, and if you are a business owner, you need to join, especially if you're over in that neck of the woods. And we hope to see you next time right here on My Chamber TV. And thank you, my friend.
Yes.
I will see you soon, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
Maybe in town.
Okay,
before
of
our
course.
next show.
Come to Johnny's with us tonight.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.